Over the past several days, the Bitcoin market did absolutely nothing until today, where we saw a nice dump to the downside, testing below 19,000, actually hitting prices around 18,900 right as I started making this video. And why is that? Why are we dumping again today? Well, it's because the US dollar index is once again pumping up. Yesterday, we saw tons of Twitter accounts, and I mean tons of people, all talking about this gravestone doji right here, this candle, basically trying to call the top on the US dollar index. And I actually warned against using daily time frame signals because the trend is much larger and much stronger than people seem to realize, and that it's likely that we still get continuation up, and that doji has been invalidated, and the US dollar index looks like it wants to keep going up more. Every time the US dollar index breaks out of the parabola, well, we get a new one and a new one. And well, if it breaks out of this one, we might just get a new one again. You know, I think that betting against the asset with momentum is such a dangerous thing to do, guys. There is no stopping this train right now, and there's no signal that the US dollar index is topping out. Now, in my last video, we discussed all of this, guys. We talked about the US dollar index moonshot and that a bearish move is coming for Bitcoin. We talked about that in the last video. So definitely smash the like on this video if you appreciate those types of calls, and also subscribe to this channel if you're new. Guys, if you have not watched this video that I posted last time, the last video 3 days ago, you gotta watch this video. It is the best explanation I can make on what we need to see from the US dollar index to identify when the Bitcoin bottom will come in. This video explains it all. This video even got me a shout out from Crypto Zombie. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this channel, Crypto Zombie. He gave me a shout out for this video, and likely because it's an easy to understand video, and it's something that really nobody talks about with the US dollar index, right? Just to recap, the US dollar index does not need to find a top for Bitcoin to find a bottom. It just needs to lose momentum. Simply, it just needs to lose momentum. If you guys have not seen this video right here, you need to watch it. I'll link it above, or I'll link it below. Probably one of my most important videos in a long time. And it really didn't even get that many views, which I'm surprised of. And so in this video today, I want to talk even more about what's going on with Bitcoin, why we're dumping, what we need to see next to really call this bottom for Bitcoin. And you know, what's the possibility that we see lower lows? All of that and more in today's video. Welcome to 2022, when inflation is high and your morning cup of coffee costs you $7 or $8. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're gonna be talking about the price of Bitcoin, the US dollar index seeing continuation up, Bitcoin seeing continuation down, where we are in this trend. Could we see lower prices? Well, I actually think it's quite likely that we could. And we're gonna be talking about all of that in this video. So one thing I noticed yesterday on Twitter was that a lot of people were trying to use this doji on the US dollar index, this gravestone doji, as some sort of top indicator. And we talked about this in my last video, that you can't really be using, you know, daily time frame signals as a real good indicator for this trend. The trend is too large to be using daily time frame signals to call the end of this massive mega trend. So if you go to Twitter, you'll notice that a lot of people were trying to call the top on the US dollar index with using this daily time frame gravestone doji. I mean, you see a lot of accounts posting about this. A lot of my fellow peers, a lot of people were talking about this, and I went to Twitter and I said, guys, it is insignificant to be using the daily time frame for the US dollar index right now. And that this was posted yesterday. I was saying yesterday was a holiday in the US. The stock market wasn't even trading. The markets didn't get a chance to put their input in. And I think that only a weekly or monthly candle is going to be defining this trend, not a daily candle, right? Not a daily candle is not going to be defining this trend. And then today, look, we go from this gravestone, we pump up. And I was like, see, you see what I mean? The daily time frame stuff is so insignificant. And another thing that you're going to see on Twitter is people drawing these parabola lines that I have up here. And I've been seeing this take place for weeks now, months now, where whenever the US dollar index goes into a parabola and it gets to the end of it, like this part right here, people say, see, it's over, Bitcoin's gonna be bullish again, and then it just goes up, right? Does it again, breaks it again, up, it's over, it goes up again. And this can continue on. I mean, we could see this come down again. People say, up, see, it's over, and it keeps going up, and the parabola just gets larger and larger and larger, right? The parabola can continue to expand, right? It's not about the charts right now. It's about the fundamentals. It's about, the CPI data coming up. It's about what the Fed says, what the Fed does. It doesn't matter if we break below this trend line even, honestly. If the Fed just says, well, we're going to keep raising rates, well, then it's just going to keep going up. I mean, it's not about the charts, and it's not about these daily time frame signals, and it's not about these parabolic trend lines which break and recover, break and recover, break and recover constantly. You can't really be looking at this for the US dollar index right now. The only thing you can really do, in my opinion, for the US dollar index is look at the monthly chart and wait for a monthly rejection, right? A huge monthly bearish engulfing candle of sorts. We are nowhere close, guys. If you look at this monthly trend for the US dollar index, it is so strong. The candles are so fat, and there's no rejection right now. It's just like perfectly set up for continuation, which might be hard to believe. Of course, this can change. And my opinion will shift if we see a big red monthly candle come in for the US dollar index. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying, well, I'm just going to wait for it to happen. I'm going to remain bullish on the US dollar index until we get a monthly rejection or some kind of monthly trend shift. We're not getting that right now. We don't have a red monthly candle here. And until then, we're probably going to keep going up. And again, it's not about, guys, if you haven't seen this video, you got to watch it. It's not about the US dollar index finding a top. It's about losing momentum. It's all about momentum. If the US dollar index begins to trade sideways, that's when Bitcoin's going to bottom, right? The US dollar index can basically go like this, sideways for a few months, and then go up again, and Bitcoin can be playing out an uptrend even when the US dollar index is seeing higher highs. The key is the loss of momentum. And we explained that exactly in this video. You don't believe me? Watch this video. I explained it all, guys. Watch that video. It's so important. The US dollar index is not losing momentum right now. And the daily time frame loss of momentum is too insignificant to care about. It's about the weekly and the monthly. You got to wait for monthly rejection, in my opinion, to really be calling this, Bitcoin bottom, essentially. Now, could it happen tomorrow? I guess. I mean, once we see a big red monthly rejection for the US dollar index, I'm going to start looking for, flipping cash back into crypto, whatever, stocks, crypto. That's when I'm going to be doing that. I'm not going to be relying on the daily time frame. I'm going to be relying on the monthly, right? The monthly rejections, guys, is the most important thing. And until then, I suppose, as long as the US dollar index is just getting continuation up, well, Bitcoin can get continuation down. And I suppose that as long as the US dollar index is not playing out any type of weekly, monthly rejection, there's a high likelihood that Bitcoin tests a new lower low until then, right? Until we get the signal from the US dollar index. Whenever we get that monthly rejection for the US dollar index, I will be most likely, at least considering the bullish side much more than I am right now, right? So I know what I'm looking for to flip bullish or to be more confident to the bullish side. We're just not getting it right now. We're just not seeing it. Now, of course, long term, these are great areas of accumulation. If you're buying Bitcoin below 20K, if you're buying Ethereum, at 1,500, I mean, in the long term, you're likely going to make great gains, right? I'm not talking down on people that are buying right now. I think if you're buying right now, you're going to be doing great. You just got to be willing to wait, and you just got to be willing to, experience a little bit more pain maybe before finding a real low. I think that in all likelihood, the US dollar index should be near some kind of top. It should be close to it, But that doesn't mean that we don't have a few more months, possibly, of upside. The US dollar index can be going absolutely parabolic for months to come. And then the US dollar index, this is 2015, guys, and the US dollar index continued to see higher highs. Well, as the US dollar index was seeing higher highs, Bitcoin was going up, and it was going parabolically up. The key is that it lost momentum, right? Sideways is the key. So the moment that the US dollar index finds a bearish engulfing candle, it can still go up like this and see higher highs, lower lows. But as long as it's losing momentum and going sideways more than up, then Bitcoin can find a bottom. That's the key. That's the key. So for now, there's no reason to believe that. I would say don't look into like the little details of the chart going into the daily time frame or even lower. Go back to the weekly, monthly, and just wait for that huge rejection candle on the higher time frames. Until then, Bitcoin does have a high likelihood to be going lower. And, people are going to want me to make some sort of call. Like they're going to say, Kevin, what's the price where we're going to bottom out and reverse? I think that it's foolish to do that. I think it's kind of foolish to try to pretend that you know what price it's going to be when the US dollar index tops out and reverses. That's not, I don't think that's something I shouldn't be making that call. Like I could take out my fibs and just make a guess and say 15,500. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that, right? I have no idea, but I know what I'm looking for, that if we are down at those low levels and the DXY gets a major monthly rejection, those might be the lowest levels we ever see for the next cycle. Whenever the US dollar index starts to lose momentum, those might be the lowest prices we see for Bitcoin. And we kind of just start going sideways and then recovering into 2023. Stuff like this is what I expect. I mean, I'm not going to put a specific price on it because I don't really care to, right? Because it's just useless information. You have to just look at the US dollar index. I don't want to provide useless information because let's say the price is coming down to a price. Let's just say I say 16,000 and that the US dollar index is still going up. But people are going to say, well, Kev, you said 16,000. Well, what I really said was that we have to wait for a monthly rejection on the US dollar index. That's what I really said. So I don't want to put a price on it. You guys know what to look for. You guys know what to look for now. Major weekly, monthly rejection on the US dollar index. That's it. That's it, guys, because then we'll know that we're going to be losing momentum. And even if we're seeing higher highs on the DXY, well, we're at least going sideways more than up. And that's when Bitcoin can flourish. That's when cash starts to move back to crypto and stocks. But that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the like, subscribe to this channel. Also, be sure to join my Patreon, the link below. If you join my Patreon, you get into the VIP chat. I haven't been doing all that much videos for Patreon right now because it's kind of hard to juggle those two with such little things to talk about. There's not much to talk about right now with the market doing nothing. Maybe today I'll do one. But we also have some sign-up links below. You get rewards if you use these links. BitGet has the most rewards, thousands of dollars if you use that link, deposit into futures, and just follow the steps. You can get thousands of dollars to trade with. Use that link there. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next video.